Here we are, the final scene of the game, guys.
Woo!
The
Oh my
epilogue.
gosh!
Woo!
I dab my napkin in TJ's glass of water, wiping off the sticky syrup stain on my seat before sitting down. The Lynx gives me a little look before taking a sip from his glass.
Ah, about time. Here they come.
Flynn's peering out the window toward the sheriff's office across the street. Sure enough, our trio of friends exit through the glass double doors, checking for traffic before crossing over to us. A few reporters from the parking lot spot them and try to get their attention, but Leo ushers them forward. He mutters something and Micah laughs, glancing over his shoulder. Jenna just shakes her head, clearly annoyed but relieved nonetheless. A few more squad cars roll out, honking at the news vans to get out of the way before heading down the direction of Echo.
The police were sure busy in there.
Yeah, no wonder. They're all gonna be in deep shit for the lack of response to all of this. What was it? 14 hours before they even sent out a squad car to investigate the blackout?
Well, the detective I talked to claimed they sent them out earlier, but there was some kind of traffic trouble. They couldn't get to us.
Oh yeah, traffic trouble. That sure is a fucking valid excuse to ignore a whole town suddenly losing its internet and telephone communications.
Flynn grunts, the Gila looking over toward the quiet Ram at his side. He's still wearing his dirty tank top, though the EMT bandaged up the cuts on his arms and fetlocks. Fortunately, Leo's dad called and said he was going to pick up a fresh pair of clothes for him. He also stated that Leo, Flynn, and Carl could stay over at their house while the authorities sort everything out. Since they closed off the Flint Road access to Echo, no one can exactly go back for their stuff. Not that we're in any rush to go back, of course. The Ram stares at the checkerboard pattern tabletop, saying nothing. Flynn frowns, nudging the Ram with his shoulder.
Hey fat ass, why don't you take a look at the menu? Bet some chocolate chip waffles and ice cream sound good right about now, eh?
The lizard smiles down at him as he slides over a menu. Carl looks up for a moment, then sluggishly flips it open.
I think they serve your parents' brand of ice cream here.
TJ forces a smile, which is a strange sight in and of itself. A happy face usually comes so naturally to the Lynx, but now he just looks frazzled. Understandable, really. Matt? Carl has lines.
Colson's good. Right about now.
Fuck yeah, I bet.
The Ram flips to the next page, though I can see he's not really reading anything. His face starts to scrunch, and he exhales through flared nostrils. He scrunches again, and soon his gaze falters, his arms beginning to shake. His eyes press shut, and he lets out a nearly inaudible sob, tears rolling down his cheeks. Flynn reaches over and puts an arm around him, tugging him close.
Well, that's just not coming through, so...
It's
Okay.
He squeezes the Ram's shoulder. Carl sniffs, hiccuping once before letting his muzzle push into Flynn's chest. TJ looks away, his own eyes beginning to water again.
I'm gonna order you the banana split and a big glass of lemonade.
He pauses.
Also a salad. Pretty healthy.
I love that.
The Lynx begins to quietly cry, though keeps his face hidden by a napkin. We must be making quite the scene for the other folks in here, but I rightly don't give too much of a damn. However, this is all making me realize I sure could go for a hug right about now. Flynn, still holding the traumatized Ram, looks at me across the booth with a soft frown. As the two non-weeping members of our group right here, I guess there's some solidarity in that. Not that I feel particularly great or anything. I certainly feel a lot less numb than I did in Echo, though. Thinking about all that happened really freaks me out, so I've just been trying not to. At least right now.
Chase,
Yeah?
thanks.
His tone of voice is strange and sincere. I can't hide my look of surprise. No problem. Though I think we owe the most to Jenna and Micah.
Yeah, I already talked to them at the station. Never would have thought that little shithead Bat would ever do anything that didn't serve himself.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, I guess. I kinda think you would get along with him. Flynn lets out a little grunt, running a hand up and down along the ram's arm.
Wouldn't push it that far. And guess we'll never know, because I'm moving the fuck out quick like. My house is probably worth jack shit now, even less than it was before, and I'll worry about money later.
TJ wipes his eyes, clearing his throat.
Maybe you could start one of those online fundraiser things. This is getting so much attention on the news. I'm sure there are plenty of people, like folks of my church, who would be happy to donate to help get you on your feet.
Take charity. Take charity from strangers?
Flynn looks out toward the news vans outside.
I was in a hysteria that killed a bunch of people, my house isn't worth jack shit yet anymore. Go fund me.
I mean, to be fair, like, I'd definitely get $10 from me.
Yeah.
Did you see that news article? That was me. I need a new house. Go fund me.
I mean, I will
Did you
point
hear-
out... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, that was it. That's the gambit.
I thought you were gonna make another joke.
No, it's like, hey, did you hear about that giant massacre that happened that's been all over the news for the last, 7 days? Yep. That's me.
I'm a survivor. Please fund me. I don't have anything to go back to.
Oh, yeah.
My house lost all its equity.
So, I want to say two things about this. One is, yeah, this is definitely going to be on national news, and what will be interesting is, I'm curious how long it will last on the news, considering they said, in another game, which I'm going to not spoil beyond that. But the other thing I want to bring up is, I find it fascinating that Flynn's not once stopping to think, oh yeah, I have a roommate back in town, don't I? Wonder how he's doing.
To be fair, Flynn's already, Daxton's either already dead or just gone.
Yeah, it's one of the two. You're not.
I'm either never gonna...
now.
Either way, I'm never gonna see him again, so why worry about it?
And it was kind of hinted that they weren't too close with each other until, they started hanging out with Chase being there. It didn't seem like they had much prior relationship beyond, you keep your side of the house too hot.
Yeah.
A particularly a particularly antsy-looking newswoman is currently getting chewed out by a police officer in SWAT gear. Though it looks like the news lady is grilling him right back, shoving a microphone in his face. To think that's what I want to be one day. A guy with a camera, chasing tragedies for profit. Maybe I should change my major. I glance back towards Flynn and Carl, the ram still visibly crying, but no longer racked by quaking sobs. For some reason I smile, if only for a moment. Or you could just marry the wealthy heir you helped save from abduction a couple hours ago. I'm sure that comes with some financial stability. TJ immediately stops crying, blinking at me, then Flynn across the table. Flynn's eyes go wide before he quickly furrows his brow.
Fuck you, Chase.
Despite everything, if the lizard could blush, I have a feeling he'd be doing so right now. So yeah, I'm gonna point out again, at the end of Flynn's route, and here also at the end of Jenna's route, it's very heavily hinted that, Flynn and Carl would have been an item after everything.
Nice.
I love the fact, Flynn's hey, be a gold digger.
I love how, no,
Chase is
he
the
didn't
one
even
telling
say
that
wealthy
phrase.
heir. No, he says wealthy heiress.
No,
I
I
thought
think
it
it
was
said
heir.
heir. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
Yeah, wealthy heir you helped save.
Oh, okay, cool. For whatever reason, my brain put it in as heiress, and I enjoyed the image of Carl being an heiress thoroughly.
You're just imagining Flynn and Carl's wedding with Carl in a wedding dress.
Now I am, anyway.
Him still wearing the goddamn beanie under the veil. Despite everything, if the lizard could blush, I have a feeling he'd be doing so right now. Carl does seem to hug onto him a little tighter. The bells on the front door jingle as they're pushed open, and I can see Leo peeking in searching for us. Once he spots our booth, he gestures in our direction toward the others, and they make our way over. Harry?
I swear, those fucking useless pigs were gonna keep me locked in there indefinitely till you vouched for me. Just 'cause they can't do their fucking job, they gotta find someone to pin all the bullshit on. Why not the kid with the record?
They're still trying to figure out what exactly happened.
And they won't, because it ain't the sort of thing that can be figured out, you know?
Oh yes, I know that now.
Jenna closes her eyes for a moment, though they open again as she startles from Leo coming up behind her. He's about to speak when a particularly rotund alligator woman saunters up beside me.
Wait, why is he still shirtless?
Because he
Because it's
lost a
Leo.
shirt a while back.
Oh, okay. Oh, and he hasn't had a time to get, like, a new shirt or anything.
They haven't had time for much, honestly. Also, I'm gonna just say, like, on the meta level, it probably was a little bit of fan service here at the end
Yeah,
for people.
I was gonna say, that's what that was.
Not fan service I want.
I mean, not the one I want
Fuck that
either, but
guy.
fine.
Who would I
Yeah,
want
we
fan
can't
service
we
from?
can't always
There's
get
a
what we
lot of
want,
people that
Sam.
apparently want
Look,
this.
there is still an avid fan base for Leo. We'll get to that later.
Oh, I have no doubt.
She's wearing a white polo shirt, jeans, and a blue Pancake House apron. Ugh.
Apron.
Yeah, who wants to be the Pancake House lady?
Why, hello there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's her.
You all got enough room in there for that booth?
She smiles, seemingly unfazed by the sorry state we all look to be in. I mean, she's working at basically what's a Denny's. Like,
Yeah.
This is a Waffle
House.
This
It
is a
This is
Waffle House. It's even worse than that.
Waffle House.
Yeah.
5 people at once say, this is a Waffle House.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like, no, never mind, Waffle House, definitely.
Yeah.
I suppose when you work at a 24/7 diner in the middle of the desert, you see some of all customers. TJ blinks, then mutters an apology as he scoots himself over, closer to Flynn. I do the same, and Jenna moves to sit beside me. Micah and Leo take the opposite side. We're in a long corner booth that actually has several mini tables. With all of us together, we're shoulder to shoulder in here. We each tell the waitress what we want in no particular order. Micah practically blurts out what he wants. 2 hash browns, 6 house-style waffles, toast with strawberry jam, and a side of bacon. Meanwhile, I ask for a large iced tea with a bowl of vanilla ice cream. Jenna insists I get something healthy in my stomach, so she offers to split her turkey sandwich. I smile at her and accept, relaxing against the pleather backing of the booth seat. Our server finally gets to Flynn and Carl, and both of them don't seem to be too focused on what she's saying. Flynn is staring at his phone, and Carl's leaning into him with a distant look in his eyes. TJ gingerly nudges the Gila, and Flynn quickly looks up at the alligator.
Oh, a banana split and garden salad, please. 2 lemonades.
Matt?
It didn't go through. Damn it. Alright.
Ah,
Pink.
I love it.
What?
2 lemonades. Pink.
Pink lemonade.
It's shaken, not stirred.
Flynn looks at Carl like his last shred of masculinity can't possibly bear to utter those words aloud. Fortunately, the waitress writes down Carl's correction with that same unjudging smile.
Two pink lemonade.
Oh, my boy.
I will say pink lemonade is the best lemonade.
It is. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. I think pink lemonade's great.
For peach.
Whenever you're ready, Seb.
If that's all, I'll be back with you, folks in a bit.
Carl lowers his noggin back into Flynn, while the Gila goes back to staring at his phone.
I can't get a hold of my aunt.
She's dead.
Mayor aunt?
Yes,
Yeah.
my aunt, who's the mayor.
Maybe she's tied up with the police, sorting stuff out? For reassuringly, picking up a sugar packet from the table and emptying it into my mouth like an absolute cretin.
He admits it.
Yeah, but you'd think she'd call me back.
Leo raises an eyebrow at me from across the table, taking a sugar packet from herself.
Otter, you should have heard Carl's dad falling over himself thanking Jenna over the phone. All the cops in there were calling her a hero, yeah?
Oh, quiet you.
Hey, I'm sure I could have been just as smooth if I was the one up for talking Heather down.
Ha ha
I
ha.
look at Micah and can't tell if he's being serious or not.
Can I point something out?
What?
Almost immediately after Micah gets shot, he goes, "Yeah, fuck that, Jenna, you're taking over, I'm done with this."
I do
Yeah, I
remember that. Yeah.
So, like, in no way is Micah ever the hero to the people.
Oh, I understand. But Micah
Yeah.
doesn't know that in this version. We didn't let him get shot.
Yo, whatever you say, little buddy.
The wolf downs his sugar packet, smirking some. He and I used to swipe these from the diner all the time. Creamers, too. He'd always go for the aspartame or stevia-based ones, though. I can see Jenna giving us a curious glance before refocusing her attention on me.
Anyway, the police were pretty happy with you, too.
It takes me a second to realize what she's referring to, and I quickly wave a dismissive paw. Well, I'm sure I just gave them more work.
That is their job, Chase.
What did Chase do?
I think he, gave them the documents that he'd been... he'd been maybe, making a detailed record. I don't know. Chase did something.
He was the protagonist.
What would Chase be doing?
He wore plot armor for one scene.
Well, so technically, he was also there alongside Micah and Jenna when talking down Heather.
This is true.
TJ,
That's what I originally thought. Anyways,
Yeah. who has been relatively silent next to me, looks increasingly perplexed, his ears folded downward. With everything going on. Oh, okay, so Chase is going to say what it was. Oh, it's Sam's body!
Oh!
That's what they were like, hey, you helped us find an old man who died 50, 60, maybe 70 years ago? I don't know anymore.
Yeah, that's
Everything-
right.
Oh yeah. With everything going on, I realized I hadn't told the rest of the gang about my discovery. For those not present, I found an old corpse on the side of the road from, the 70s. This gets Carl, Flynn, and TJ's attention.
Found is, putting it mildly. You picked a patch of dirt and started digging until you found this guy's body and wallet.
What?
I held my paws, shaking my head. I can't explain it. I can't explain a lot of things.
The voice in my head told me to.
The fact the body is old enough, though, means I'm not... The fact the body is so old, though, means I'm not a suspect, at least. A weirdly sour feeling courses through my body, and I instinctively squeeze my tail beneath the table. But they ran the guy's name through the system. His disappearance was so long ago, they don't even have a record of it anymore. They did find Living Family, though, or at least a point of contact from what I heard. Jenna smiles.
I'm sure whoever they are, they'll be
Hey.
grateful for what you did.
Who is that?
So Sam, if I remember correctly, comes from Georgia. If I'm right about that, and he would have family back there technically, though definitely not close family.
I suppose.
After 4 decades, I'm not so sure. Maybe we'll just dig up old wounds, raising more questions than answers. I doubt it. I don't think Sam really was in contact with anyone back in Georgia. It's not like I told the police my dream about the van or anything, or who the original owner was. To think Sydney's dad killed a guy. No wonder he ended up the way he did. There's a moment of silence. Mike is staring impatiently at the kitchen, and Flynn dialing up his aunt again. Jenna exhales, breaking the quiet.
Regardless, I'm just glad you were all okay. Micah's fingers and neck are healing up nicely, and you two are finally separated.
Jenna nods towards Leo and I. There's no way in hell that phrasing wasn't intentional. She has the self-confident smile on her face, though. When neither of us respond, it diminishes. Leo just looks kind of distant. Not like before, of course, when he was all loopy post-beatdown, but like he's got a lot on his mind, and he hasn't really processed yet. I know exactly how he feels.
Dick.
Micah muses, idly tearing strips off of his napkin off. Huh?
Dick. That was a dick thing to say.
Well, that's pretty rich coming from you. Mike is about to say something when Jenna cuts him off, speaking first.
No. No. He's right.
She brings her fingers up to her temple for a moment, thinking, before focusing on Leo and I, making sure to meet our gaze.
Acting like we're all still in high school, teasing you two about your relationship. It's not appropriate. And ultimately, it's driven by jealousy.
Leo blinks. Jenna.
It's not something I like to admit, but a lot of what I do is driven by that. The need to experience things I wasn't afforded growing up.
Michael looks up from his napkin evisceration, the edge of his mouth curled into a soft frown. Flynn glances over as well.
A prank I orchestrated over 3 years ago led to this whole situation, picking at a raw nerve and leaving it to fester.
My mind flashes to images of my smashed cell phone sitting on the pavement. Leo
I'm sorry.
TJ's having the ice cream. Burps.
Yeah. My mind
I'm
flashes
just
to
gonna
images.
do this.
My mind flashes to images of my smashed cell phone sitting on the pavement, Leo calling for me as I walk away.
Do I think you two should be together? No. But is that any of my goddamn business? Also, no. And for that, I apologize.
Wow.
Flynn speaks my mind.
You need to go through more tragedies if it gets you to admit that you're just as shitty as us for a change.
Flynn grunts. Jenna waves off Flynn's comment.
But seriously, Leo, don't hump chase at a children's arcade and then destroy it when you get caught.
You smashed up an arcade?
I did. You know, I'm kind of a rebel. A real bad
Leo clicks his tongue against the roof of his mouth, letting a moment of silence pass as he glances offward.
Nah, I'm a fucking idiot.
Thank God you admitted.
Leo seems to be purposely avoiding Jen and I's gaze.
Hey, people did worse things under the effects of the home.
Manifesting a tulpa of one's ex-boyfriend? It's a bit much, no?
Ex-boyfriend? I suppose that settles it. Oh yeah, he does say ex-boyfriend, so yeah. That's an improvement for Leo there.
A huge
Ex-boyfriend.
improvement for Leo.
No, it's a small improvement. He has a lot to go.
Considering in his own route he mentions that he spent 2 years crying and not really accepting it until like 2 years had passed, this is a massive
And
improvement for him.
also,
Yeah,
he
it is a massive
fucking
improvement for him.
imagined up a boyfriend and admitting that that boyfriend is not there anymore and no longer a boyfriend, I think is leaps and bounds better.
He's
than
doing well, yeah. I'm proud of him.
Mhm.
Still not a good person, but I mean, still.
I raised that child. I raised that child.
I raised him into the shitty person he is. I suppose that settles it, though I can feel how much it hurt for him to say that. He smiles regardless, of course.
Oh my god.
Well,
Oh
if
my
the truth was giving
God.
you good, there's not much to complain about.
You know that's getting bleeped as hell, Harry.
Yeah, well, it's the line.
Seriously, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Nobody explained anything to Flynn.
Flynn's me in like any situation I come in, I'm like, what's
Like-
going on? You're like, nothing, Sam, nothing.
I can't help but chuckle, and a few others do too, including Leo. To describe any of this in any sort of way that does it justice seems utterly untenable.
Look. I reckon it's best we put some time and a few beers between this event and us before getting into the nitty-gritty details, yeah?
Oh, planning another Echo meetup already? I ask, trying to sound more lighthearted than I feel.
Fuck no, Otter. We got the internet if we want to talk.
Gross.
My inbox is always open, though I think therapy might be the safer bet than beers.
I could go for some harder stuff,
Get
honestly.
you know,
My
he's like,
in and out of character.
yeah, Micah.
Then
In
beer.
and out of characters.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
genocide.
Hard liquor,
Oh, I
vodka,
see.
Hard.
Well, let's find out.
meth,
Like-
LSD.
No, we'll find out. She seems to regret the question the moment she says it.
You ever had a foot-tall devil dog cake with a strawberry, cherry, and raspberry filling? I know a place in Santa Rita and a Busby in Pueblo.
Pueblo.
Beautiful.
Pueblo.
Beautiful.
Would take your mind off anything. I could also go for some heroin.
Get you it's not go for, it's get you.
Get you.
Oh, I can also get you some heroin.
He knows where to get them.
Micah, for God's sake.
Yeah, I remember Micah was a dealer. He didn't use the harder stuff himself. That's why he's not as fucked up as like Clint.
I'm just kidding, Christ. The cake place closed years ago.
Ah! Oh no!
We talk for a few more minutes, mainly riffing on what the hell we're all gonna do after all this. The food arrives before Jen and I really get a chance to weigh in, though. Not that I'm complaining, of course. The vanilla ice cream looks delicious. And Jen's sandwich she offered split doesn't look too bad either. She sets it gingerly on my plate. Flynn glares at his pink lemonade as if it just insulted him.
Fucking hell.
He glances over to Carl, who seems to be working up the energy to sit upright enough to eat his food.
This looks like you're pissed after too many energy drinks.
That was once.
Carl speaks up in a sniffly voice. The lizard looks like he's about to take a tentative drink right when his phone goes off. He quickly snatches it up.
Hello? Mark.
He leans forward, resting his elbows on the tabletop.
Yeah, hi. I left a message earlier. Have you heard anything from my aunt?
He frowns suddenly.
Okay, why? Alright.
The lizard takes Carl by the shoulders and straightens him out, the bleary-eyed ram blinking some as Flynn tries to stand and scoot past him.
I'll be right back.
Flynn, after accidentally hip-bumping Micah in the face a half-dozen times, manages to exit the booth. He heads out towards the parking lot.
That's like
Ordinarily-
my greatest fear is, like, hip bumping someone in the face when I'm trying to get past them.
Ordinarily,
I wouldn't say it's like a major fear of mine.
It's uncomfortable, at least.
Fair enough.
Ordinarily, I get the impression that this would annoy the shit out of the bat, but he's too excited for his plate of food to complain. He dives into the bacon first, shoving it all into his mouth as a whole wad. Even Leo raises his eyebrows a bit.
Don't choke.
I think Micah mumbles an expletive at him. The hungry guy is already moving on to his jam and toast by the time I bite into my sandwich. We eat in silence for the most part, though it's not exactly awkward. I think we're just mainly content to have each other's company after everything we've been through. I can't fathom being alone with my thoughts after all this. Though in the quiet, I do get to thinking about that voice that spoke to me in the van. It seems like a distant memory now, but it was so clear. We've been together for some time. I'm with you. You are indecisive by nature. I choose. Those words stick out to me the most. Glancing around my friends, I decide to try something. I let the ambient noise of the diner fade out, focusing on trying to remember that voice, the one I've heard before. I close my eyes, emptying my mind of worries and other thoughts. I wait. Jenna nudges my shoulder, a french fry poking out of the corner of her mouth.
Nope.
You
What?
falling asleep on me, Chase?
I refocus, managing a reassuring smile. Oh no, I'm just, taking a moment.
Oh,
She nods, as if this made perfect sense, no clarification needed.
you holding up all right, though?
You know, I think I'm okay, actually.
Really?
Her tone is skeptical, though in a sort of jokey way. Yeah, really. She finishes the rest of her fries, wiping her paws off with a napkin before something catches her attention across the room.
Oh, would you look at that? A jukebox.
I follow her gaze, spotting it by the door to the bathroom. It's pretty retro. It even has those plastic neon-filled tubes that flash when it's turned on. You don't see many of those these days, or jukeboxes in general. I think maybe most folk saw them as more of a nuisance than a mood setter.
Come on, let's take a look.
Okay. I'm not sure why this is so interesting to her. After scooting out, she offers me her shoulder, her tail swishing gently behind her. I offer a little nod of thanks, using it to help myself stand. Leo looks up at me from his plate of chicken and waffles. We meet each other's gaze for a few seconds, and he smiles.
Alright, easy now.
My boyfriend.
The EMTs already gave my leg a proper dressing after we got to the police station. Hell, they tried to get Leo and I to go with them to the hospital. Yet of course, the last thing Leo wanted was for us to all get split up again. I actually agreed with him this time. Plus, I've heard horror stories about ambulance bills. I relinquish my lead.
Yeah, he's American.
Oh yeah, this is all in America for certain.
Leg falling off. Actually, I'm gonna walk.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend $1,000. God.
Mm-hmm.
I knew a dude who got his thumb cut off in heavy machinery, and he was like, "Do you want an ambulance?" He's like, "No."
Absolutely not. I'm driving there myself.
With my not cut off thumb.
I relinquish my leaning on Jenna, and we walk. I hobble toward the jukebox. The music selection is pretty dated for the most part, though there's some modern dance hit thrown in there, surprisingly enough. They're scribbled on with permanent marker on sticky note labels. Jenna makes a show of inspecting the options, though she speaks up towards me.
Hey,
Hello? She lets out a little laugh, then sighs.
sorry. I haven't gotten a moment to speak alone with you for some time.
Something on your mind? She nods.
Yeah, I mean, look at her face.
A lot, actually. There's a considerable amount of things we've seen, that we've experienced, that will never make plausible sense to anyone but us.
Jenna gestures discreetly toward the rest of the group at the booth. I notice that Flynn is still not back. It does sort of put everything into perspective, I guess.
Yeah. Part of me wonders whether I made the right decision.
The music comes at some surprise. Jen never one to really doubt her choices, or at least make such doubt known. What do you mean?
Well, from what I figured from both your historical research and what Micah has said, this hysteria is cyclical. It always comes back and ends up hurting whoever is around it. Now, I don't know whether it's gases seeping through the ground, weird radio signals, or something in the water. Not sure anyone ever will. But what Heather wanted to do, flooding the town, that would certainly put a stopper on anyone trying to live there again.
I don't think anyone is going to be wanting to stick around there for a long time after this. Jenna's gaze shifts to the tile floor beneath our feet.
Yeah. For a long time.
She repeats. I try to think of what to say next. In the background, I can hear Micah saying something crude about the origins of syrup. I glance back and see Leo chuckling and TJ covering his face. Carl stares out the window. I don't know if you can really fight forces of nature. Whatever is going on, it feels much bigger than us. But what you can do is help people, I guess. And that counts for something. What you did for Heather, despite everything she did to you, that counts. Second chances and all that. Jenna smiles.
Chase, that's very nice of you to say. Very sappy, of course, but still sweet. I'm not quite sure I can fully see it that way. At least, not yet.
Her tail thwacks me a little, and after a brief moment of nearly teetering over, I thwack back. I think we all turned out okay, noting the circumstances. Echo's this tiny town in the middle of nowhere, and the shitty situations brought us together in the end. And I don't regret that. She taps her fingers against the glass of the jukebox, looking elsewhere.
I wonder what it would be like if Sydney were still here.
The question catches me off guard. As far as I knew, Jenna never really liked the kid back in the day. Still, I guess he was part of our group, hence the thought, maybe? I don't know. I don't really want to think about it, to be honest.
Maybe he'd have helped Leo beat the shit out of Brian.
I blink at her, the words sounding strange coming from her mouth. She looks at me, furrowing her brow.
What? He was really into that wrestling stuff.
I cross my arms over my chest. I guess. There's a long silence.
I had a dream about him early on in the week. And once everything started, hitting the proverbial fan, I remembered hearing these strange voices.
She doesn't elaborate on that specific thought further, shifting focus to me.
I didn't make anything of them at the time, but noting everything that happened later.
She stops for a moment.
If you want to talk to me about what happened sometime, just let me know, okay?
I try to read her expression, the offer seemingly sincere. I don't see any sign of judgment or scrutinizing intent to her words. As usual around her, I find myself not quite sure what to say. Whatever happened to you claiming you're not a therapist?
I'm not. I'm your friend. And I wanted to stay that way for a long time.
Despite my wariness at the original question, I can't help but feel a little fuzzy from that statement. So, just a friend, huh? Now it's Jenna's turn to be caught off guard, but the surprised look in her turquoise eyes lasts only a second.
Hmm? Oh, perhaps you got the wrong impression this past week.
I look at her and feel my heart starting to sink.
I do mean, my mind was under the effects of a town-wide sweeping of hysteria, after all. I can't be held accountable for my actions. However...
She sucks in her lip, staring at the ceiling as if in thought.
If you wanted to take me on a proper date when we get back to Pueblo, I wouldn't be opposed.
And boom! The only one that can possibly have a successful relationship. Boom!
I don't know, man. Kudzu was rocking that hard. I'm just saying.
Of the obvious, like, 5, you know?
What are you saying about Kudzu? What are you saying about Kudzu, huh?
I'm
Saying he's not part of the 5?
obvious sixth
No,
person.
I'm saying Kudzu belongs in his own tier of the they're
There
going to
you
get
go.
married, obviously.
Obviously, there you go. There you
With
go.
Jenna and like
Good save,
Chase,
good
it
save.
could possibly like not work out and everything, though they seem to be like developing a good relationship.
Mhm.
I can accept this.
There was a town-wide hysteria. I swear that's the only reason I had sex with you.
And it wasn't the
Why?
fact that like in one of the side stories it was shown that I had a crush on you ever since we were like in high school at the
Yeah,
very
no.
like latest. It might have even been earlier, but we just didn't talk about it.
Mostly hysteria. If
Mhm.
if not,
Why did I
all
not like
hysteria.
Leo?
Totally.
I have to
Totally
admit, why didn't I not like Leo? Because, I mean, I wanted that otter ass.
I did say I was jealous of what you two had. I didn't say why.
hysteria.
I feel myself slowly starting to grin, and have to quickly reshift my face into a less creepy expression. Oh, okay. Not opposed, huh? She lets out a humored exhale, shaking her head.
To speak candidly, me teasing and flirting with you around Leo, that's not really me. Or at least, that's not how I want to be. I should be better than that. Otherwise, I'm no better than Flynn at the river, plucking at raw nerves.
I'll admit,
Sit.
I was kind of worried you were just doing all that to be competitive with Leo, like it was some kind of game. Jenna nods.
Oh, that's completely true.
What?
I was, to at least some extent. Hence the offer for something a little less biased.
I look at her, a little gobsmacked. But at the same time, I can't help but feel appreciative of the honesty. I guess I'll consider your offer. She smiles, and for some reason, she kind of reminds me of those old femme fatale types from old noir movies.
In the meanwhile, I'm definitely going to start writing about our experiences here in Echo. Specifically our most recent ones. How it augmented the perceptions of people, sometimes even in groups. It's almost downright paranormal.
Almost.
Nothing's actually paranormal. I'm certain there's actual inputs and variables which determine certain triggers that resulted in what we saw. On a personal note, I'm just happy none of the effects seemed to linger once we left the town. No Tulpa version of you hanging around Leo. No monster chasing TJ. No red figure following me. No visions of that, or Keith, or Micah, or Heather.
Of Keith, Formica, or Heather, or, cats attacking Sam.
Oh, you guys heard that?
Yes.
Oh, we certainly did.
I was trying to be quiet.
Nope.
And you, well, how's that possession by the roadside ghost working out for you?
I love how that's phrased. I rub my head, feeling the welt from Brian's pistol whipping peeking out from my fur. I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Huh. Who says you can't run away from your traumas then?
She winks, and I find myself smiling a little goofily. This is all so insane, but I sure am glad she's here to talk me through it.
Now, Chase Hunter, the true question.
She turns to face the jukebox.
What should we pick?
Oh no! Oh,
You
no!
thought we were gone.
Rickroll a whole diner. That's what you should pick.
I give you up.
Let's. I think we should see TJ's reaction to techno because apparently he
Techno.
likes ska.
There you go, techno.
Techno
Alright.
and ska are different.
They are.
I want pop.
They're
Alright.
adjacent.
Alright, I got one vote for techno, one vote for
Mhm.
pop.
Techno.
I'm
Soft rock.
Okay, alright.
Soft
too
rock.
Too many people were talking at once. So I heard Sam for pop, I heard Matt for soft rock, and I heard DJ for techno. Seb, what was your vote?
Soft rock.
Alright, so that's 2 for soft rock. Hannah, what's your vote?
Techno.
Alright, so that's 2 and 2. Harry, you're the tiebreaker.
Heck no!
Alright.
Sweet.
I'm disappointed.
Yep.
You know what? I don't know. How about you choose?
Ooh.
You can't
Okay.
do that.
Jenna gives me a quick nod.
Whatever you say. Oh, here. This one looks good.
She leans in and presses a button on the machine. And there we go. We are done with Echo.
I love
Oh,
that
hallelujah.
he controls his own. He
Oh,
can
man.
still be possessed, but he controls it anyway, and that's kind of a cool idea.
Reddit.
So the thing is, remember, when we make those decisions, we never were picking for Chase, we were picking for Sam, who then
Mhm.
would influence Chase.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that happens. See, okay, now that this is over, I want to talk about our
let's
theories.
I want to get through the credits first, and then we can talk about the
Mhm.
theories and everything.
Okay.
I do want to mention, though, with that and everything, that it's hinted there that either Sam is, like, taking a true backseat from here on out, or he's maybe gone after this.
Nah, I honestly think Sam's gone.
That's what I'm kind of leaning towards, too, but...
Nah, he had
yeah.
dots.
Yeah, he did have the dots, and that's what's kind of, like, interesting about that. But either way, I mean, like, that's the thing. This is the end, and, I kind of want to more get, like, what's everyone's feelings about the fact that we've finished what was a major game for us. I feel like the last time we had something
so-
like this was, major minor.
Like, I feel relieved that it's finally over. Because it's been like that game that's been hanging above your head, like, hey, I'm here. You can't get rid of me, hey.
Kind of like Sam.
What?
Not you,
Like
Sam.
me.
that-
Like-
Okay,
Hi.
I'm not
No,
worried.
I just realized how that sounded,
Yeah,
which is
I was like-
really funny.
I was like, what? Why would you say that?
So mean to Sam.
Yeah, I was like, what did I do?
Sam did nothing wrong. However, Sam is a piece of shit. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I did nothing wrong.
Hashtag Sam did nothing wrong.
I have no idea what I may or may not have done.
We don't know. We haven't gone through the smoke room.
One of these days.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
waiting
this-
for the smoke room to be more
This was the
complete.
best note we could have ended on for Echo.
Mhm.
Mhm. This
That's
is the
it,
nicest
everything.
ending of all of them, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
this is the nicest ending.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that they got this one out last.
hmm Now, I want to mention something that's really interesting is... Actually, wait, no, we're here at the end. I'll talk about it later. And now I want to bring up something here. You notice with
What?
this here, the little like menu screen.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys remember when they got out of like the dam after confronting Heather? What they described?
Nope. Nope.
They described Chase slumping down, getting next to the truck, then Leo plopping down next to him, Flynn leaning up against the tire, Carl and TJ in the bed of the truck, and Jenna, when she got through everything, slapping her butt down right next to Leo.
Oh,
Oh, hey.
I was wondering. I was like, this sounds really familiar.
That's why I say this is like... That's why I believe that Jenna's ending is the true ending.
I would say it's definitely the most complete one. I don't know if it would be like the true one.
I will talk about it.
It's the one that feels like it most breaks away from the cycle, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now we can talk about theories and stuff before everyone has to
I'm
head
gonna
to bed.
Because I do want to point out that like this is also the one route where there's no post-credit scene. With
No,
with
Carl's route doesn't have a post credits either.
Oh, it doesn't.
It does not.
I didn't know that because I don't care
Yeah.
about Carl.
Well, yeah,
Bitch.
because Leo's
For the
route
la-
also does not have a post credits. It's only in TJ and Flynn's that they have post credits where they bring up arches.
Oh well, for the last time, since I'm probably never gonna get to say it again, nobody cares about Chugs route.
You're gonna watch it at some point, Harry. You know you are.
No.
I didn't say play. I
provides-
said watch.
It provides
Yeah,
a lot of,
that's-
like, history of
fair.
Echo, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm
like
far
I,
more
I,
likely to watch it than play it. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I like the lore that it provides.
And it's kind of cool to see. It's a very cool ending for Carl and Chase.
Yeah, if you just do the good ending,
It doesn't take too long, yeah.
well, it still takes a while, but it's
Yeah.
much more fulfilling.
hmm
Like the bad ending is like, oh gosh, this took a long time and we got to this point. Okay.
I do personally love how everyone's still somewhat traumatized about the fact that we had to go through both versions of Carl's route like that. Like
Yeah,
that is
no-
something you guys have remembered, and you're like, no, never again.
Yeah, no. For anyone watching, if you do want to go through the game on your own time, please just do yourself a favor and just go through Carl's good ending.
So no, actually, the thing is, here's the difference: is if you are playing the game on your own, here's a fun fact: you can actually skip dialogue that you've already seen, and it does do that if I
That's
remember
true.
correctly for Carl's route. So if there's dialogue that's the same between both the good and bad routes, it will skip over it if I remember right. I could be wrong about that though, and if I'm wrong, my bad. I'm so sorry for you, Boo. You're gonna have to deal with it if you want to see both endings then.
Yeah, I think whatever the case was, it still took us a while to get through both routes, and we were like, But-
Now,
but yes.
I would like to hear, now that we've gone through all 5 routes, I kind of want to hear what is your preferred route order, like of how you think people should experience this game?
I think the order we did it in was
Yeah,
good.
that's about right.
I am still sticking with the Flynn then TJ route.
So you think Flynn and TJ should be swapped then? Okay.
I will. We've had long talks about how I'm wrong, and I am sticking true.
I get
TJ's
you.
route does have the worst ending.
So you're saying then what we would do is Carl, or make Carl optional, and then have it be Leo, go into Flynn, then TJ, and end on Jenna. Is that what you're saying, Harry?
So I believe
I see why you'd say Flynn.
I
then
believe it
TJ.
should be Carl, Leo, Flynn, TJ, then Jenna.
So you do agree though, ending on Jenna. That's the thing. I'm
Yes,
more
I
about.
do agree ending on Jenna, yes.
Jenna and
Yeah. Yeah, you
to
have a
get
very...
Oh, have
Okay.
a night, then, Matt.
Noi.
I
Although a lot of the other routes had like an epilogue. They're like 5 years later, and Jenna's route, they're like, yeah, okay.
I do see the merit
That's
of
it.
doing Flynn then TJ.
Mm-hmm. Now, the thing that I wanted to bring up, the reason why I'm bringing any of this up is that there is a entirely other like route order that people suggest, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. And that is going and starting with either Carl or Leo, then doing Jenna, and then ending on either iteration of TJ then Flynn or Flynn then TJ.
No, absolutely
So
not.
that would be very unsatisfying because you're ending with the two worst endings.
A lot of people tend to also argue for ending on Flynn because it's supposedly the most like down note to end on, and like I kind of feel like that defeats the purpose of the story. But I also know some people like it in that iteration where it's kind of a more darker slant on things.
Well, I could see the reason. Discovering who the hell that red monster is last could have a benefit.
True, but
Yeah,
it's
but
just
I
such a
feel like
down
then
note
you
to
would
end on.
want to go back and reread it. Maybe that's why they say Flynn last, because then you're like, well, now I have to go back and see all the details again. But I would prefer to know about Flynn's route first and then go through it and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's what's Flynn doing here.
Yeah, it's like
Stop,
it
dude.
makes it makes much more sense when you go into Jenna's route, and it kind of brings things kind of into full circle
Oh yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, and like that's the thing that I find, for me at least, I find it just the best idea to end on Jenna's route, which I find so fascinating that people argue against that, because it feels like Jenna's route is the most like.
Complete?
I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. It's the most like. It feels like the final note proper when you do it.
Yeah,
that
it
way.
feels the most final.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, kind of. At the end, he's like, I guess I'm not being stalked anymore, which is good, right? But like, again, Leo's route gives us 5 years later, Chase and Katsu are happy, and Leo is like, I'm not a douchebag anymore, and like, Carl is, like, we see their postlude, right?
Yeah. See, for me, like, I guess one of my issues for, like, I don't, like, put Leo's, like, in another area within the ranking is Leo's route is the one that I view as, like, the initial crown jewel, where you gotta start with Leo if you need to be sold on this game. If you are not, like, 100% certain you're gonna play through all 5 routes, you gotta start with Leo. Because it's the one that makes you go, hold up, why'd this happen? Hold up, why'd that happen? Oh my god, is there a way for things to not go real dog shit with Leo? And it kind of like gives you that push, because I remember after we got through Carl's route, you guys were interested in seeing the rest of the game, but it was Leo's route that really got you guys starting to theorize and wonder, like, wait, what about this? What about that?
Mm.
Yeah, and I joined at the end of Carl's route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you joined either at the end of Carl's route or like right at the beginning of Leo's route, around then.
No, because I remember Carl's route. I remember the scene with what was it? I remember the scene with the one dude being hanged.
Oh, so yeah, you were here for that. Because
Yeah,
you
not
are disgusting.
not Jenna's elder, but I'm talking about the side character.
Ancestor, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
no,
right.
I was here at the very beginning, and then I missed basically all of Carl's route.
The videos are up if you ever watched them.
Yeah, I know. And then I was like, all right, Leo's route. Let's go.
I mean, yeah. So honestly, Carl's route's like the hardest one for me to sell because you lose half the cast, and the only new guy you get is Raven. And Raven, bless his heart, is a fine enough character, but he's not strong enough to make up for 3 missing characters.
That's the route that you're like, all right, if you want the full story, you gotta watch it, but you don't actually need it.
Yeah. And it sucks because it's a really good
Well,
story
Carl's
about
route kind of
Carl.
leaves Echo behind.
Mhm.
That's the weird
No,
thing.
Carl
right?
doesn't. That's the really fucked up thing at the end. Is that Carl's family still lives in Echo, and like he and Chase make some type of weird peace with like, and we're gonna go back to Echo this summer to hang out as friends, and somehow like ignore our trauma, and hang out in Carl's house, which is the place we were trapped the entire time. Like I don't know why none of them moved out, but they even end on the note of yeah they're going back to Echo that summer.
Huh.
I remember that. And I was
Huh.
like, that's such a weird note to end on. Because, like, all the other ones are like, and I got the fuck out of Echo and I never went back. Never looked back, baby. I also just wanted to point out one of my favorite, like, interpretations of the game is it's an anti-romance story. Because, like, of all the relationships, none of them really worked out. I mean, Jenna's kind of, but not really.
Yeah, Jenna's like
We don't get
I mean,
payoff on Jenna, certainly.
Yeah, like there is still the possibility that they might develop into a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all the other ones are just like, yeah, nope, this is totally not a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, like, with Jenna and Chase, like, the big thing is, I think it's also because of the possibility of, like, not telling Jenna that you were bi. So she's just like, I'm your super close friend because you're my gay bestie. And Chase is the entire time going like, God damn it, why didn't I tell her I was bi? But yeah, like, with that and everything, I do find it interesting because it ends on the note of her saying, I really want to affirm that I want to be your friend and I want this friendship to last. When the only other route that ends on the this is a friendship that's gonna last is Carl's and maybe TJ's if you squint. In both Leo and Flynn's
Yeah, but
routes,
it's bad as
basically, we gotta
TJ's.
move and break off with each other. Oh yeah, no, TJ's it's not a good reason for it to last. We'll be the best of friends as we hide the reason for why another friend is dead.
Oh god, yeah.
See you in another 5 years when I drown Leo.
Hmm.
We'll
Oh
be good
no.
friends that just slowly kill off the rest of our friend group.
Oh no.
But yeah, so I guess since we're so close to our time, I think maybe we'll have like another like theory crafting episode at some point in the future. But I
Okay.
want to end on the note at least of what is everyone's final thoughts about Echo.
A game. It definitely was like
It's taken up too much of my life.
it's taking up too much of all of our lives. You know? But I liked it. It was good. Some parts were questionable.
What do you mean? The dolphin exhibit was fine.
I knew you were going to pick up on that. Like, please let them know I'm thinking about that scene.
My favorite part. I don't understand.
What dolphins? But they don't exist.
Dolphins don't exist, not according to the first new voiced Flynn.
Oh my gosh. I'd say if nothing.
Okay, for a hand,
If-
sorry.
I was just gonna say, if nothing else, this game taught me that I have a spirit animal, and that is Jenna.
Your designated persona now, Hannah, is a Fennec Fox. I'm sorry. You just have to deal with this.
If I was a furry, then yes, Jenna would be my persona. I'm not saying I'm a furry, but if I was, Jenna would be my
I
persona.
think we can all agree that Micah, Harry's Micah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, okay.
Okay, well, okay. I knew Harrison was going to react like that.
You're like, I can't say no, but I really want to.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what happened, was I really wanted to say no, but I couldn't.
Like, well, there's a lot of similarities there, damn.
I mean, that's the thing, is genuinely with, like, each character, it was interesting to, like, go, oh yeah, no, this character is a good fit for this person, or this character is a good fit for that person. Like, when I was reading about Heather, this is not a diss on you at all, Sam. I'm going to preface that. But I was thinking, like, how this would be a good, like, voice acting opportunity for you. Because, like, she sounded like she would fit your voice, at least. I'm not saying you're anything like her personality-wise.
No, I understand.
He's just saying that I'm like Leo.
No.
Yes.
Actually, I'm saying you're more like Julian, DJ.
He's very...
Yeah, I'll take that. Julian's a cool dude.
I
He gets
like
chopped
how-
up in literally
Julian's
every
a
other
cool
route.
dude,
but, you
only
know.
to Julian and other people who are like Julian. Everyone else hates Julian. No, I'm kidding with you, DJ.
No, only Chase hates Julian because Chase is a piece of shit.
Yep.
Also, I'm very much looking forward to never having to be fucking called a rock ever again.
Oh, we will. Don't worry.
We'll call you Rock.
Once
just
a
for,
rock,
you know.
always a rock.
You
Look,
know what's
I'm
funny?
not Chase. I'm not. I
You know,
have a
it's-
personality.
You're right. You're like a cool rock.
You're like that pet rock that everyone wants.
Fun fact, did you know that otters have favorite rocks
Yes, I did know that.
that they keep in their armpits?
Oh, that's
That's
kind
really
of
cute.
cute.
That
Yeah.
sounds like that's so otter vibes.
But
I like
Yeah.
sending Alan Otter videos.
We bought Alan Otter artwork.
Yeah? Oh, a lot of my friends have been giving me that type of stuff when my... Like, if people haven't picked this up, I am actually a furry and everything. And my actual persona is a fucking coyote wolf hybrid, a koi wolf.
nice.
And yet
Nah,
all of my
Chase.
friends call me a rock or an otter.
Yep.
You can be a rock and a koi wolf.
One funny thing was, so, you know, so in the psychology class that we run,
Mm-hmm.
we're currently on the chapter for personality, and there was...
Oh, I'm curious.
Like Alan, who has the personality of a rock.
It's not a...
I did
It's
not
not a
actually-
pebble.
I
It's
I
a
did not
rock.
actually say this, but when I was prepping for class, I'm just like, personality of a rock? Personality of a rock?
No. I can't believe this betrayal.
I don't think any of this rock stuff would have popped up if you hadn't mentioned it.
Oh,
Yeah.
not tonight it wouldn't have. I really, you guys actually don't make that joke that often. I'm messing around about it, and I really am not offended by it. or
Alan
anything.
is a rock. Alan is a rock.
Okay,
La
DJ's
la
getting banned.
la. Alan is a
Okay. Well, that
Okay.
means Hannah also gets banned.
No.
Well, she has a
Hannah's
different
allowed here.
Discord, right?
Yeah, see,
Oh,
she's
that's
got her
true.
I
own
do. I
Discord.
need to get on a different computer.
But then DJ would be there, so.
Just like lock him in a different room.
All right.
Fuck.
I definitely know I heard your thoughts, Sam. Anyone else have any thoughts about Echo before we wrap everything up?
This is a game I did not expect to get like into.
Mm-hmm.
I joined this group because you're like, hey, voice acting opportunities. I'm like, that sounds pretty interesting. This is the first game we're doing. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure. It's not that I mind that much, but that's a strange first pick. Not what I would have gone for.
Was this really the first game I had you do?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I thought I had something before this.
And I remember being like, okay, I can vibe with some of these characters, and then I was absent for most of Chug Route, and then we did Leo's Route. I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm invested. Dang it, I'm invested in a gay furry visual novel. Well, that's the way it be. The breaks.
So that's the thing is, honestly, when I brought this forward to the group, I had been playing on my own, and I got through Leo's Route, and that was the one that convinced me, holy shit, I should play this with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, from there, like, when we were going through Carl's Route, like, I was still finishing up the game, and I got through all of the game in, I want to say, a month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I brought the game forward to everyone, like, when I was only, like, 2 weeks in of my reading. And I just remember when I finished the game, I had this, like, kind of weird sense of, like, completion and everything, like finality or something, like peace, weirdly enough, of like, I have accomplished something. It was just reading this story. But fun fact, this story has enough words that technically eclipses the Bible.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's more
That's
words
something
in
that I
Echo than
realized
there is
about
in the
visual
Bible.
novels. There's a lot of words in visual novels. I thought one of the longest books I read was the Brandon Sanderson book, and then
And then Echo
I read Echo, which is about the same length. Maybe Echo's like another 25% more, and then Steins Gate was like twice as much as the Brandon Sanderson book. And I was like,
yeah,
God.
well, Steins Gate is like super long.
It's
something
super
we'll
long.
play sometime.
I didn't realize it was that long when I was reading it. It was like, oh, look, it's all the characters I like. And the same way I felt this game. Like, did it really take 2 years? Kind of didn't feel like it.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is we were doing it almost once a week. There was a couple of times where we missed a month or two, but
Yeah.
like beyond that, genuinely, this was a very fun experience for me. I've always enjoyed, like, whenever we have like these big games that we can do, because it feels like a chapter in like our group's life in a weird way, you know?
I do enjoy this game a lot, and I want to know more about the world, and it starts in Smoke Room.
Yeah, Smoke Room is our next big one in some point in the future, but we gotta get through Arches first too.
I also enjoyed... I cared about these characters, even like in a weird way, Leo, right? Like, we had all these conversations where it's like, oh god, Leo is a hot fucking mess, but he's also like relatable and you feel bad for him, right? Like, I enjoy that they took us on this ride of, like, you know, Jenna's fun and goofy if annoying and mean. TJ's sweet and lovable if innocent and naive in a way that can be very harmful. Carl has a heart of gold, but he can't
suffers
get out
from
of his
such
shell.
anxiety that he like locks himself away.
And you know, Flynn has a heart of gold but refuses to admit it, right? He gets in his own way. And Leo is a helpless romantic who, that helpless romantic causes massive problems for him, right? He's not in love with Chase. He's in love with being in love. And it's kind of fun seeing all those characters play out. And, like, even when it gets to the horror element, you're like, oh shit, I really care about this poor little baby that's going to have a shitty time. Like, I felt disturbed when any of them went off a deep end, right? Like, so when Jenna's like, I'm going to break this dam, I'm like, oh no. Or like when Chase starts like weirdly hitting on TJ and then like goes ape shit, you're like, oh no, make it stop, right?
I
like,
did notice you said nice things about everyone but Chase.
Well, because Chase, you must understand, is the protagonist, June. And he was So he doesn't have quite the same flaws of the other characters, actually.
Oh, he does though.
He definitely does.
He can be an idiot, but not like
No.
he's just an idiot. I guess he can think with his dick sometimes.
Yeah, he can definitely be a little bit too horny, I guess. He's also sometimes a bit more obtuse and somewhat stubborn.
Mhm.
He is also very much a very big pessimist. It's kind of funny that, like, Jenna's route, like, if you make him pick the better, nicer options, his outlook changes to become more optimistic towards the end.
So does hers, that's
normally
why
he's
she
a
likes him.
pessimist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also really like their relationship. His relationship with each of these characters is believable and likable.
That's the thing I did like, is that there never was like a, I wonder how this character would have interacted with this one. It is, no, this is an actual, like, Fen group. Each person had their own relationship with each other. Like, there was no, like, oh, I don't know, Leo never interacts with Carl. It is, no, Leo does, like, hang out with Carl, but he's been ignoring Carl for a few years now, and Carl's like, yeah, we're not really friends anymore, are we, Leo? And Leo's like, no, totally, buddy! But then you have, like, other ones, like Leo and TJ, where you would, like, wonder, like, how would these two interact? And Leo is just like, TJ's my little brother, I gotta make sure he's okay, protecting the little bro.
Yeah. Like, also for, like, the Flynn and TJ one, especially in this route, like, yes, he wants answers, but if shit goes down, he's gonna be like, oh, fuck, I have to chase TJ down because he's going crazy. Now I'm stuck on this railroad here. Like,
Yeah.
he cares about all the characters. He's just an ass.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is each of the characters does something kind of awful in their own way, in, like, each of the routes. Except for Carl, if I'm being honest. I can't think of, like, something truly awful Carl does.
He botches an interview.
I guess?
Oh no, Carl.
Yeah, because, like, with TJ, like, I know it sounds, like, weird that TJ would do something awful, but, like, if you see the end of TJ's route, technically...
twice.
Yeah.
He enables, certainly.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think looking at the clock, we're definitely gonna need another maybe session for theory crafting before we start something else in the future.
Yeah.
But I would like to say one last thing, but I want to check. Does anyone have any other final thoughts before we do end this?
Nope.
Okay.
Thanks, Harrison.
So then the little final note that I wanted to say for our playthrough of Echo is, as I mentioned before, I kind of view playing, like, certain big games like this as, like, a chapter within, like, our group's, like, history. Back in the day, it was Major Minor for Hannah, Sam, Samuel, Andrew, and I, and a couple other people, where that was, like, our big thing. It was the huge, like, thing that we got through. It took us, like, a year and a half. And this is the big one for this version of the group now, where we have, like, DJ and Harry and Sebastian. Like, this is, like, I feel like you guys' Major Minor, but in a good way. It's not like the way,
yeah.
through. It is,
From what I've heard about Major Minor and the very little I've seen of it, I am glad that this is not Major Minor.
Yeah, I feel like we benefited.
Yes, yeah, no.
You absolutely did, trust me.
But yeah, like, our group is constantly growing and changing and shifting, and, like, we have a whole bunch of new people now who weren't here for the beginning of Echo, have popped in maybe for, like, 1 or 2 sessions, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing how things play out. Oh, I forgot, Matt was also, this was his big one too. He wasn't here for Major Minor, so I wanted to mention that since he wasn't here right now. But yeah, I'm very happy that we were able to do this. I'm glad that you guys listened to me for my recommendations for silly little games like this. Like Major Minor, it was a, hey, this game's dog shit, let's play it together. And you guys were like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. And then it became like this, oh god, we gotta get through this thing because we're not letting it beat us. While
Yeah, I
this-
remember that.
yeah. Well, with this, it was, hey, I think this is actually a genuinely good story. Please trust me on this. And I'm so thankful you guys trusted me and actually went through all of this.
It was fun.
And for anyone who's watching in the future, thank you. I actually really appreciate that you've been joining us on our
Gosh.
journey.
Uncle,
Yeah.
I guess,
Thank you.
anyone want to say anything to the audience, since technically we have one, possibly?
You did it.
You made it. You
did it.
finally made it.
And as much as you hate it, you'll be back. You know you will. You always come
You may
back.
or may not hate it,
Thanks, guys.
but if you hate it, you're still interested enough if you've made it this far that you kind of want to figure out what the heck's all the other stuff that we didn't answer yet. I have questions. That's a later topic.
I do want to talk, but I know probably not now.
Yeah, no, I promise you, Harry. We're gonna... Next time we have Echo scheduled, it's going to be a proper theory crafting episode, which I'm gonna say will be like in 2 weeks. Because next week we're gonna try and actually get through Doki Doki, which... So DJ, I'm gonna just say this. This is not a spoiler, but it is something that is kind of spoiler-ish. I view Doki Doki as another major project for some people within our group. Like, this is going to be another big event.
Oh, wow. I'm excited. I didn't realize it was going to be that long.
It's not that long, but it is definitely an impactful one. That's the only spoiler I'm going to give you regarding Doki Doki, okay?
Alright. Got it.
And I'm very much looking forward to coming back at some point in the future and doing arches with a bigger group and everything. Because Hannah, DJ, and I, as well as Sebastian and Matt, have too much fucking experience reading certain scenes now.
Yeah.
So, that intro, I feel like, Hannah, you're gonna be on point and you're just gonna be like, alright, let's get this shit done.
I've done this before. I can do it again.
Yes.
I am still seriously debating about actually having that be like a serious voice acting scene at some point. It's gonna be
totally.
major on you though, Hannah.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
I'm trying to think of like how best to phrase this. I'm super glad that we played this. I'm super glad people watched this, and I'm glad that you guys were all here with me. I really appreciate you all as my friends.
Aww.
So,
We
That does
appreciate
bring
you.
a smile to my face.
Oh, Harry smiled. Oh no.
I think the last time I did like a little heartfelt message like this was back like in frickin' New Year's of yeah, it was New Year's this past year, like 2022, 2023-ish, when we were going through the Christmas AU for
Oh
Smoke Room.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I guess whenever we get to like an end of a series like this, I'm gonna get a little sentimental. So look out for Imposter Factory soon. I'm gonna
Oh
probably get
no.
The sentimentality.
It kills all of us. But no, seriously, like, I guess the note I want to end on for this no, it is. I'm planning on having this be our 2-year anniversary video. Before we do a little special event I'm going to announce before we end this. I'm just super happy that I was able to get, like, all of you guys to join me over the years. We've been at this technically since 2013. I've just only been uploading since 2021. And it's fascinating to see like how this group has grown, developed, and now like this past summer we were aiming to get serious voice acting stuff down because now we have like a major, large enough group that we can actually cast a whole bunch of shit and everything. It's kind of a dream come true for me for this hobby. I never really thought we'd get this far, I guess. Or if I did, it was like a wild dream, and it's so weird to be able to be here now. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Alright, so I alluded to it earlier. Here's the big thing that we're aiming to do. I can't fully promise it, but this is what we're aiming to do. Also coming up today, after this episode, we're going to try and do a live stream tonight. we're gonna try on Halloween of 2023 to do our channel's very first live stream. I don't know what we're playing yet. We gotta still discuss that and work out some of the details. It's September 19th, breaking immersion and everything in real life for us. So we're gonna try and spend this next month working things out, and I hope to see people who've been watching this there.
We are going to have nobody. It's going to be beautiful.
It'll be fun.
I'll be watching.
I mean, you'll
I'll
be
have
there
it.
in the stream, because here's the fun fact. Halloween's on a Tuesday this year, baby, so it's during our normal recording time. That's what we're doing instead.
You're gonna be here or be square.
I don't know. Maybe we'll do like Among Us. Maybe we'll do an actual like voice acting thing. It'll be
Maybe
weird
we'll
to
do
do
horror
it with
games.
an audience. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll work that out. And also, as I've been pointing out, we have more people in our group that weren't here for the Echo games and that you may have seen like in some of our other videos, like the Among Us stuff. So I'm hoping we can get them to join us for this. All right. Well, I guess for the final time for Echo, unless you want to stick around for the theory crafting episode in the future, guys.
That's a bonus video.
Yeah, it is definitely a bonus video, but I guess then for the final time, and that's all. I hope you all have a good night. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.